What's going on, everyone? It is the Conservative Christian here, coming back at you with another video. So, Kanye West on, I want to say it was yesterday. So today, crap, what is today? I don't even know what today is. I want to say it's the 10th. So on the 10th the 11th of this month, Kanye West met with President Donald Trump. I have to go back and watch the clip again. He said a lot in a very short time frame, so I got the hiccups. And I got to go back and try and make sure that I understood what he was saying. But I did want to say this. So all I know for obviously is that upon this, the usual happened as the norm, which is that the left has lost their mind. Some people I saw some guy post something like, oh, you stopped representing Chicago a long time ago. This, that, and the other. Kanye West is being attacked because he isn't black enough because of the things that he says and believes in, and the fact that he likes Donald Trump. Let's be real about this. Like, the reason why all the people in the black community who voted Democrat don't like Kanye West is because he voted for Donald Trump. It's ironic, or it's coincidence. It's weird, I don't know, like, the people on the left, they're so quick to point to something being racist, but then whenever they can't use the race card, it has to be something else. Obviously you can't call Kanye, as a white person, you can't call him racist if you're on the left, because, that doesn't exist if you're a black person. And then if you're black, you can't call him racist because you're also black, so you have to call him something else, the typical coon, all that nonsense. It's just, to me, my initial thoughts on this is like, the thought process just shifts, right? Like, this isn't something that I've said before. The goalposts are always moving with the left. And as soon as they get called out, as soon as their idea is brought to light, they always change the goalposts. Just like Christine Ford did with her story. You see this happening, all the time. They can't attack Donald Trump because, the fact that Donald Trump met with Kanye West, and I did see, a couple other black people in that room, as well as females. The whole racist, sexist dialogue doesn't really work. So you can't attack Donald Trump, so you have to attack, the next person who supports Donald Trump in that room, who is the next important person, which in this case is Kanye West. I don't agree with everything Kanye West says. I just appreciate the fact that he's speaking his own mind. He's not letting other black people or the Democratic Party tell him what to think anymore. He still obviously has some liberal beliefs. But here's the thing, right? Like, it's fine. I don't, no one on my side on the political spectrum has ever had an issue with someone with differing points of view speaking their mind. But you have the left now saying that, it's funny, because before we were racist, again, see the thing, that we were racist before, but now that we like Kanye West, now people are saying, it's like, oh, well, you've had all these other celebrities on before, but you give room for Kanye, because he's just doing your little puppet dance. He's just saying what you want him to say. No, he's not. He's not saying everything that I want him to say. I still disagree with a lot of things that Kanye West believes in and says. The difference is that he isn't going off of the script that you guys have prescribed to everyone on your side. He's not saying the things that you want him to say. So, it's I feel like you're projecting on me, a little bit. You're accusing me of something that you're actually the one who's doing, okay? I'm not telling Kanye West or anyone else who differs from my beliefs what to think, okay? I'm happy when they agree with some things that I believe in, because, I think that what I believe in is a rational thing to believe in. And so even if Kanye West doesn't have the same beliefs with me on most things, but we find common ground on one issue, there's more common ground, there's more decency to be found there than there is talking to one of you guys who, anytime you hear a differing point of view, all you do is resort to character attacks, and you don't even try and find common ground, and you tell me that if I don't believe in what you believe in, then I'm a racist, sexist. You're actually the ones who are trying to manipulate other people based on their beliefs. I'm just happy that someone from your side of the spectrum decides to think for themselves and go, and even if they're being serious, even if they're just playing devil's advocate, they go off script just to test that thought process out and see how it holds up. And Kanye West has done that. And if he goes back to believe, if he goes down this path and he later comes to a conclusion that, like, okay, I've gone down this path, and I given everything that I've talked to people about and the evidence that's been presented, I don't think that they're right, and I'm going to go back to what I believe, then I have more respect for Kanye West than I do anyone else watching this video who's part of the left. And the reason why is because this person decided to use their brain. I talked about this before in one of my other videos in regards to the Pride Month thing, right? I said something along the lines of, about being yourself, and that, going against the norm. Like, where I said, like, if you feel like you're being oppressed for who you are, just own it, embrace it. Go down that path. Go down the path of who you think you are. And I think that a lot of people are scared to do that because in the end, they think that they will be proven wrong. And that's the reason why most people choose not to go down that path in the first place. Whereas, so in the grand scheme of things, if anything, I have more respect for Kanye West than I do anyone else on the left, because he's at least putting himself in a position where he can not only test things out for himself, but he actually has the balls to go down a road knowing that in the end, he might be wrong about something. And then he'll either have to admit to that or he'll deny it then based on the evidence. But all you guys do, people on the left, all you guys do is you just shame anyone who disagrees with your point of view when you haven't even been able to craft a valid argument, you haven't been able to present any substantial evidence. All you do is character attack. All you do is name call. All you do is the thing that you accuse people of me of doing, which is, doing the whole puppet master routine, okay? No one on my side of the political spectrum is telling Kanye West what to think, okay? Kanye West has watched videos, specifically Candace Owens, and she was the one, he heard what she had to say, and he, of his own free will, decided to go with that thought process. He agreed and believed what Candace Owens had to say of his own free will. What you guys are doing is you are almost forcing people to think the way that you do. Yet you're going to accuse people like me that I'm the one who is forcing Kanye West to think a certain way, or that because he now believes in something that I believe in, that now I'm, somehow controlling how he thinks, or some stupid crap like that. You guys really need to get your heads out of your butts, because the projection, the hypocrisy, the double standard, that you guys are so blind to it. You guys do this all the time, and you guys don't even realize it. You are the very thing that you are accusing other people of. And the sad thing is that you don't even realize that you're doing it. It's ridiculous. So let's see. I don't really know if there's much more. We'll see what else he has to say. Whatever else. But here's the thing too, right? Like, I love, it. Again, proven wrong, and it's either moving the goalpost. Man, this thing's wibbly wobbly. But the goalposts with you guys either change, or you just don't acknowledge the fact that you got scored on. Because here's the reality, right? You can't say, no one out there can say that Donald Trump was a racist. This man sat down with he sat down with a black person, listened to what this man had to say. He didn't interrupt him. He liked some of the things that Kanye West had to say, even though he might not have agreed with them. But yeah, this man took time out of his day to have lunch with Kanye West, to hear his thoughts. I was surprised, okay, because I'm going to be honest here, okay. If I was in Donald Trump's shoes, I probably would have been more likely to correct Kanye West on every place that he was wrong. I'm actually very impressed with Donald Trump. That, I mean, it could just be that he's not up to speed with everything, so that worked in his benefit anyways. But it could be that he was just ignorant about a lot of the things that Kanye West said. But the fact that he didn't have any knee-jerk reactions, that he didn't say stupid things, that he didn't behave like he does on his Twitter feed. Mad respect for President Trump, and how he manifested himself, how he upheld himself while Kanye West was talking, and how he just listened. This is something that I've noticed about Donald Trump. Like, I remember watching him. I'm sorry guys, this video is so wobbly. That whenever the Parkland shooting happened and they had that meeting at the White House, when people were talking, Donald Trump was listening. Okay, he's much more likely to listen in these kinds of settings than he is anywhere else. And the narrative here is obviously going to be, racism is power plus privilege, all that crap, and just because you met with a black person, that doesn't mean that you still can't be racist. Like, how can you say that? How can you really say that based on how he presented himself? Okay, look, I agree to some degree that yes, you can still to some degree associate with people who is someone that you don't like, but that doesn't mean that your behavior towards them is racist, right? Like, this is why you're expected to treat your boss with respect at work, even if they're a jackhole. This is the reason why that one guy who met with members of the Ku Klux Klan was successful, because he met with people that, yeah, they might have hated him because he was black, but because of what he did, he converted 200 Ku Klux Klan members to give up their robes. So, okay, to give you the benefit of the doubt here, it's still very possible that Donald Trump might have ill feelings towards black people. But I think it speaks volumes in the first place that even if he is racist, that he has not only here, but he has offered many times to bring people he's invited people to see, here's the difference with the other guy. He invited them to meet with him, and they agreed. In this case, a white man, Donald Trump, invited Kanye West to the White House. So it's not exactly the same. It's not the same dynamic. Donald Trump has not only invited black people to the White House multiple times, to include teams, the football teams. Now, we can get into that story. Obviously, he didn't handle that well, but he still offered an invitation. He's offered invitations to minorities. And not only that, but in this context right here, the way that Donald Trump's body language and how he reacted to having a black person in his White House screams everything but racism. At the very least, if Donald Trump had ill feelings towards Kanye West, I highly doubt that he would have listened the way he did. His body language probably would have been a little bit more defensive. He probably would have had his arms crossed. Body language is an important thing. It does, especially coming off of the whole Christine Ford situation, where that lady broke down Christine Ford's body language and how her body language didn't line up with her narrative. I strongly believe in body language. I believe in tone, and I've said this before too. And when you take into account all that stuff, I don't know how you can really say that Donald Trump is racist. The best story that anyone really has that I've heard is the whole Trump Towers issue. That Donald Trump is racist because in the past, an employee of his, when he wasn't around, was discriminating, and then when Donald Trump found out that this person was doing this, he got fired. That's your best evidence that Donald Trump is racist. That's pretty weak, because you know what racist people don't do? Racist people don't stand up for other or for black people. Racist people stand up for their own kind. And so how that translates here is that if Donald Trump really was racist in that situation, I really think that he would have continued to keep the employee that he had and made an excuse for him. As soon as Donald Trump found out what this man was doing, he fired him. And so I don't know how you can use that as a good example that Donald Trump is racist, because he wasn't there, and you're literally using the argument that because someone else did something who worked for Donald Trump, that means that Donald Trump is racist. That's literally like saying that because you know a murderer, that you are also a murderer. The logic doesn't hold up. It doesn't make any sense. It's intellectually dishonest, and it just makes you look dumb. So we'll see what happens from here on out. All I know is that Donald Trump he said like 2 or 3 times in that thing that he's open-minded. So I mean, I obviously think that I think he's saying that because he hasn't looked into all of these statistics. But it doesn't matter. Like that doesn't matter. He's ignorant, yeah. But because of his ignorance, that's actually worked out for him, if that's the case. Because now Donald Trump, because he doesn't know a lot about what's going on, he has claimed to be open-minded, and it was obvious. He was listening. He was actively listening the entire time. And because he's open-minded, he's talked, oh yeah, the prison reform thing. That was the most recent thing, or I can't remember if that was before the football, where he invited the football team to the White House. I can't remember if that was before or after, but that was just another example. He reached out to one of the Black Lives Matter activists, leaders, to talk about prison reform. And that guy here's the thing. This proves my point exactly right here. That guy, from what I understood, he wanted to go, but someone else who was working with him basically talked him out of it. And you want to tell me that we're the ones who are controlling people? This man wanted to meet with President Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, to talk about prison reform. The thing that Black Lives Matter yells the loudest about how we have this epidemic of black people being scooped off the streets for no reason. And when the opportunity came up, this guy wanted to go, but one of the other Black Lives Matter leaders, I don't know what happened, but I'm guessing that he probably guilt-tripped him into not going. But we're the ones who are controlling people and telling them how to think and what they can and can't do. Are you serious, dude? I really don't understand how you can accuse people on my side of the political spectrum for controlling people on your side of the political spectrum when you have crap like this happening on your own side. This was a chance for Black Lives Matter to finally be involved. Everything that they've been shouting about for the past years, they finally had a chance to step up to the plate and do something, but he got talked out of it by someone else on their side. I'm surprised that people on your side of the political spectrum are not more outraged about that than the fact that Kanye West met with President Donald Trump, and he's bringing up some of the same issues that probably would have been brought up whenever the prison reform thing took place. You guys had your chance and you blew it. You guys literally prove that you're racist. Oh, it's Donald Trump. He's white. We can't talk about this with a white person because he's white. That's called racism. So we'll see what happens from here on out. I think it's awesome that Kanye West met with President Donald Trump. I don't care if you hate me. I think it's great that he is finally taking a stand for himself, and he's at least, at the very least, he's believing in what he wants to believe, regardless of what you have to say about him. And that's all that matters to me, because you know what that's called? That's called freedom. That's called not being a slave, at least ideologically. From here on out, I have more respect for Kanye West than Colin Kaepernick. Okay, Colin Kaepernick has said nothing. He said something. He said something maybe once, or he actually spoke words once on an interview, and I was happy. I applauded him. I reposted that crap on my Facebook page, and I encouraged Colin to continue doing things this way, because I think that's most effective. I'm not telling him what to do. I didn't tell him that if he didn't do this, then he's an N-word or anything like that. I just said that because of the way he actually talked about the issues, he actually talked instead of just kneeling, I got more out of what he said than what he did. So the reason why I promoted that was because free speech does matter. The exchange of ideas does matter, and that's how things get solved. Chanting the same slogan over and over again, kneeling, doing all of these dumb things. Okay, they're peaceful, some of them. Okay, what Colin Kaepernick did was arguably peaceful. You know, I think that he chose to do this at a bad time, but it was peaceful. I'm glad he wasn't at least throwing chairs through windows and, starting fires. But I tried to encourage him to continue going down that path of what he was doing, because that has been proven to be the most effective way of changing minds, of getting your voice out there, of letting you be heard. Kneeling during the national anthem is not only one of the worst times that you can choose to hold a peaceful protest, but it doesn't get your message across. It does absolutely nothing. And so whenever I saw him actually speaking in front of a microphone, in front of a podium, that was more beneficial than him kneeling during the protest. And if he continues doing that, he will be heard. So I'm not saying that if he doesn't do things the way that I think he should, that, you know, he's an N-word, or I'm not going to demean him based off that. I'm going to try and encourage him when he does what I consider to be good things that will actually promote what he's shooting for. And I'll continue to make fun of him when he doesn't. And here's the thing, making fun of someone because of their beliefs or destroying someone's argument is not the same thing as controlling. Okay? I'm not telling you what to think. I'm pointing out the flaws in your argument and making you look bad for them. What you choose to do after that is your own choice. And most people just continue to still believe the same thing that they believe in, still say the same stupid chants that they always say, still do the same stupid kneeling for the national anthem that they do. That you guys choose to do that of your own free will. I'm not making you do this. But whenever you have someone like a leader of the Black Lives Matter group who wants to meet with President Donald Trump, and then the other guy, you know, behind closed doors says who knows what, maybe threatening him, who knows, saying like, if you choose to do this, we're going to kick you out. That's force. Okay. Whenever you tell someone that whenever you try to like stop someone from doing something, that's actual force. That is actual puppeteer stuff. And that is more force than someone, let's say, for example, let's say Kanye West just really thought that, you know, let's say he got shamed essentially into coming to our site. We didn't force him to do that. No one did. We just said, hey, Kanye West, I think that what you're saying is wrong and dumb, and here's why. And he's like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from now. That's what this looks like when it's not forcible. Whenever someone chooses to come to your side, that's not force. Whenever you have people on your side who choose to name call and ruin people's lives, tell people what to do, what to think, that is, at the very least, more forceful actions than what people on my side of the political spectrum are doing. Us shaming you for your ideas, saying that your ideas are dumb. No, we're not attacking you. We're just saying that your ideas are dumb because they are. That's not us controlling you. That's not us telling you what to think. We're just saying why we think your belief is dumb and why, and we back it up. And you can either choose to look at the information objectively and, you know, if you come to that realization, agree with it, and then maybe be like, okay, yeah, maybe what I think is dumb. Or you can just, you know, continue the same route that you're going, acting like a child, saying that because I don't agree with your narrative that I'm racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobic. That doesn't do anything for your cause, though. In fact, it makes me want to stay on my side more, because at least on my side, I can express my ideas, even if they're wrong, without having to worry about being attacked for my character just because I have a different belief. So we'll see what happens out from here. But until next time, this is the Conservative Christian signing out.